while I catch my breath. Have you ever murdered anyone and had to hide the body? Well, let me tell you, it is not as easy as it looks in the movies. Who did I murder? Here. Guinevere Black. She was one tough cookie to knock over. Very stout for her age. Now, why did I do such a dastardly thing? She had it coming. It's as simple as that. Let me explain. You see, I'm playing Clarice Dubois, who owns this quaint Victorian-style home here. And that photo I showed you a moment ago was Guinevere back when she was playing the role of Clarice. But after she unexpectedly decided to run off to Europe, they were forced to bring in her understudy. Yours truly. What is this world coming to when you have to simply murder a body just to land a decent part in a play? I mean, really. Guess what the murder weapon was? There it is, right over there. The candlestick I used. I researched for weeks upon weeks to find exactly where in the back of her head I should strike. It's serving as a prop in the play. Isn't that fun? You already know where I hit her, don't you? Of course you do. You just keep quiet in here and don't give me away. I just cracked myself up. I bet you're like all the others who think I should be nothing but an understudy. That I don't have the talent it takes to be a star. And about that, I only have one thing to say. Shame on you.
Dolores, who are you talking to?
Beverly, how long have you been standing there?
I just came in. Is anyone out there?
Just a few people. I was rehearsing a monologue for them.
Dolores, I don't see anyone there.
Well, of course not, silly. I was only pretending there were people out in the audience. You know, it helps you get into character knowing I can rehearse a monologue in front of an audience. That's all.
You're early. How long have you been here?
Only a few minutes. Mr. Fisher let me in.
Lloyd let you in? That's odd. He told me he would be out of town until later. That's why he asked if I could open the theater tonight.
I just took for granted that it was Mr. Fisher who unlocked the theater. All I know is it was certainly unlocked. You see, I had to return the scarf over at Cliff's dress store, and no point in going all the way back home before rehearsal.
That makes sense. What do you think of the set? Isn't it marvelous?
Simply adorable. It makes me want to move right in.
The portrait turned out nice. How does it make you feel seeing your likeness bigger than life?
Like a star.
The only thing I'm not so crazy about is the chest for a coffee table.
I think it's perfect. It certainly sets off that antique look you were after.
I guess we could move it to a different area of the stage.
Oh no, Beverly. It belongs front and center, if you were to ask me. That way everyone can see and appreciate its ornate characteristics.
I guess you're right.
Beverly, the dress fits me perfectly.
Oh, and you were afraid it wouldn't be ready for our first dress rehearsal.
I think I'll go hang it in my fitting room. That way it doesn't wrinkle. Beverly, I can't thank you enough for giving me this opportunity. I won't let you down.
Well, you're welcome, Dolores.
Hi, Beverly. Sorry I'm late.
Oh, I just came in myself.
I brought in a few pictures from home to hang up, but this one's my favorite. Isn't she beautiful?
That's an awfully expensive looking picture to use for a play.
Nah, it's been in the back of my closet collecting dust. I think I bought it at a yard sale once.
Janet, do you remember if Lloyd locked the theater last night?
Yes, he and I were the last to leave.
Yes, but are you sure he locked the door?
Let me think. Well, yes, he did. Because just after he drove off, I remembered I left my script inside the theater, so I returned to get it. But the door was securely bolted.
See, that's odd. Dolores said it was unlocked when she arrived this evening.
Perhaps someone came by this evening?
No, only Lloyd and I have keys, and he left early this morning to deliver a bookcase he built for his aunt.
Well, I know it was locked last night. What's this?
Oh, I was just rearranging a few pieces to see how they looked. I hope you don't mind.
No, I mean this candlestick. Where did it come from?
You brought it in last week, remember?
I brought in a candlestick, but not this one. Feel how heavy it is. The one I brought in was plastic. That's the real deal.
I don't know. Perhaps one of the cast members brought it in?
I'd sure hate to get hit over the head with that thing.
Yeah.
Why did you say that?
Say what, Dolores?
You said someone was hit over the head with the candlestick.
No, she didn't, Dolores.
Are you feeling okay?
What? Yes, I'm feeling fine. I guess I'm just getting a little nervous for opening night. Forgive me, Beverly. You're the director. You have the right to move the props anywhere you want.
Dolores, do you know who brought it in?
I think it was owned by my grandmother's grandmother. Somehow it was meant for me to have it, you know, for some higher purpose.
I'm happy you're excited about the play, Dolores, but I would hardly consider it a community theater production of higher purpose.
I'm here! I'm here! Is it time yet?
Not yet, Alberta.
Darn it!
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the crickets cry and the owl scream. Did you not speak?
When?
Now.
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Oh, Macbeth was such a wonderful play to do. If only I could have actually played the role of Lady Macbeth in that one.
That's right. You were Guinevere's understudy in that one too, weren't you?
I need to get a stronger wire for the back of my picture. Good to see you, Mr. Weaver.
Always a pleasure, Janet. Beverly, I think it's time we do another Shakespeare. Everyone said they enjoyed Macbeth.
Shakespeare's a master, all right. But for my taste, there's nothing like a good murder mystery on the stage.
You played a wonderful Macbeth, Mr. Weaver.
Don't forget, Dolores, to call me Howard.
Oh, Howard.
Now that I have my two leads together, let's go over a few things we need to focus on in tonight's rehearsal. I thought the pacing was a bit off last night, so I'll depend on you two to pick things up a little.
It's a beautiful piece of furniture, isn't it?
If someone misses their cue, I need you two to help cover as much as possible.
It was built by a true craftsman, that's for sure.
I guess those are all the notes I have for today.
Did Georgia finally decide to sell it to you yet?
No, not yet. But I'm not the type to give up so easily.
I'll go in the back, help Janet with the props. Don't mind me. I'll let myself out.
It's so sturdy.
So strong.
So well put together.
So well built.
So much character.
Such masculine vitality.
I beg your pardon?
I was talking about your chest. I mean the chest. I love this chest.
Goes without saying, this is a classic piece of furniture.
Speaking of your deceased wife.
Were we?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did that slip out about your poor deceased wife? Where are my manners? You were looking at the chest?
Yes, this would be a perfect piece to showcase in my antique shop.
That's a wonderful idea. Perhaps Georgia will give in and let you have it.
Well, maybe. I'll have to ask her when she gets here. Now, let's talk about us.
Us?
Yes, our scene that's coming up tonight.
Oh, that us.
Here we go all. Dolores, Mr. Weaver.
Hello, Mrs. Stiles.
Georgia, what are you doing?
Help me, dear. I don't want to get scuffed up. This is a very old piece of furniture, you know.
We were just speaking of its beauty before you came in. Mrs. Stiles, I want you to reconsider selling it to me once the play is over.
Come now, Mr. Weaver. Would one sell the Mona Lisa?
As I've said before, I'm willing to pay what it's worth.
My dear Mr. Weaver, as I have said before, I would never attempt to put a price on this rare family heirloom. The mere thought of it makes it hard for me to breathe. Besides, all you would do is turn around and sell it in that shoddy little antique shop of yours.
But that's just it, Mrs. Stiles. I want to put it in the front window of my shop so that passers-by can see it on a daily basis.
The answer is still no, and I don't intend to discuss it any further. I did not make my wealth by making foolish business deals.
No, you made it when your rich husband died.
Well, Dolores Gordon, why don't we come right out and say what we think?
Don't get me wrong, Georgia. I believe you should keep the piece at home where you can look and appreciate it every day.
Appreciate it? On the contrary, I think it's rather ugly. I keep it stored up in my attic underneath a stack of homemade quilts that my grandmother made.
But it's a masterpiece that ought to be shared with the world.
Or at least used to store things like winter clothes, quilts, bodies.
Bodies?
Bodies?
Bonnets. I said bonnets. not bodies. Who would store a dead body in an antique chest? I mean, what would that prove?
Well, I suppose if you wanted to get rid of somebody that you didn't like, this antique chest would be a good place to put the body after you've murdered them.
If the body were too tall, you could always chop it up to make it fit better.
Mr. Weaver, stop, I can't breathe.
Georgia, you lay a hand on him again and I'll hit you over the head with that candlestick and stuff you in that chest.
Well, sounds as if everyone's in a good mood for a night of rehearsal. Oh, Georgia, I love that costume on you.
Playing a domestic servant certainly has been a challenge for me. You see, I'm used to being the one who tells the servants what to do.
Well, that's why it's called acting.
Oh, we were just having a little fun talking about murder.
Oh, that's appropriate since a murder mystery is what we're rehearsing.
I think I'm going to go backstage and touch up my makeup. Dolores, would you like for me to do your makeup?
But I already have my makeup done.
You didn't understand what I meant, dear. Would you like for me to do your makeup for you?
I'm not sure I should leave her.
Leave whom?
Beverly. She may need my help.
Oh, no, I'm almost done here, Dolores. Go ahead.
Well, all right. I guess it shouldn't take too long.
Mr. Weaver, does that look straight?
A little that way. More. There. Good.
Beverly! Is it time yet?
Not yet, Alberta.
Darn it! There, I'm sure it'll be alright in the long run.
What's the matter with Isabella?
She's just received terrible news, Miss Gladstone.
Here, sit her down so she can relax.
Terrible news, what is it?
Let Isabella tell you.
My husband.
She says she caught her husband of 15 years having a fling with another woman.
I came home after working.
She came home one night after working hard all day.
Changing clothes. Shoe box on the bed.
And while she was changing clothes in her bedroom, she saw a shoebox peeking out from underneath the bed.
I placed the box on the bed.
She put the box on her bed.
She looked inside. Curiosity.
She knew she shouldn't look inside the box, but she let her curiosity get the better of her.
Look inside.
Oh, the box was horrible thing.
And when she opened the box, she saw the most horrible thing.
She's lying. You can't believe a word she's saying.
Shh, Dolores, let her finish. Isabella, what was inside the box?
It was a love letter.
It was a love letter.
It wasn't. She's lying. She didn't find a love letter.
A love letter to another woman.
A love letter to another woman.
Oh, poor thing, Isabella. No, don't cry. Your heart will mend. Oh my.
She's crying over a love letter written to some other woman? How embarrassing for her!
Dolores, can't you tell the poor woman is upset because her husband's in love with another woman?
What I meant was the dirty scoundrel isn't worth crying over. She should stand up, wipe her tears, and toss him onto the street.
Miss Gordon, really?
No, she's right, Olivia. That man is not worth the salt in my tears. If only I knew who the woman he's been meeting was.
Oh, so you don't know who the other woman is?
No.
Only someone with the initials RG.
RG.
Dolores, Mrs. Stiles asked me to tell you she needs to finish her makeup. Is something the matter?
Janet, would you be kind enough to take Miss Watts here to the dressing room so she could freshen up?
Poor girl.
Dolores, your makeup, please. We'll need to get started soon.
Well, all right, but I'll be quick.
Let me look at your costume. How does it feel?
Fine, thank you. Miss Gladstone, I'm worried about Isabella. How could one be so cruel to another person?
Her husband's a rat. She's better off without him.
I hope you're right. Poor woman. She's so nice, too. I'll have to see if I can... Oh, there I go again.
Oh, you'll have to see if you can... What?
Nothing.
You were about to say something you shouldn't have. Again. Olivia, you've been almost letting a secret slip for 2 weeks now. Why don't you just go ahead and spill it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're a good actress, Olivia. Not that good.
Beverly, can't you see the girl doesn't want to reveal her secret? Now, Be professional enough to allow sweet Olivia here her privacy.
You're right, Mr. Weaver. It's just now I'm gonna be wondering all night. It just isn't quite fair.
You tell me your secret, little lady, or I'll see to it you never work in this town again.
Mr. Weaver, you wouldn't do that, would you?
No, I'm sorry, Olivia. You have every right to keep your dirty, little, insignificant secret to yourself.
Thank you.
Now, when you feel ready to tell someone, I'll be in the back going over my lines.
Don't move. I told you not to move.
Jeffrey, how dare you scare me that way?
Scare you? On the contrary, my firearm is loaded only with Cupid's persuasive arrows. One hit to the heart and you'll fall from it head over heels. So what do you say, Olive? Will you go out with me or will I have to fire?
My name is Olivia, and as you can see, I'm quite busy at the moment.
Well, don't worry, it's only a prop anyways. In case you're interested, I came here tonight in my convertible.
And you still managed to stay looking perfect.
Yes, I did. You wouldn't believe my car. The power, the speed, the smooth handling. Oh, and it was great taking those curves. Passing everyone on the street. And finally coming to a nice, smooth stop. That's right. You give me the open road and an engine under my hood, and I'm a happy, happy man. If you like, I'll take you out for a ride after rehearsal.
Let me think about it. No! Oh, were those your fingers? I'm so sorry, Jerry.
My name's Jeffrey.
A skunk by any other name is still a skunk.
So you're saying I have a chance, right? She's obsessed with me.
Jeffrey, take off that jacket. Did your costume fit?
I had to take it in a bit.
What? Why?
Well, you see, I thought I could show off my unique physique a little better. Especially when I suck in my stomach. See?
Then put those muscles to use and help me move this chest over.
All right.
It needs to come this way, just a bit. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. That's funny. I didn't realize a chest would be so heavy.
What's inside?
Nothing. Or so I thought. Perhaps Janet stored some props inside it. If you take the flowers and the candle, I'll look.
All right.
All right? Okay. Oh, Dolores. Jeffrey, help me, my God. Here, have a seat on the sofa.
Oh dear, I felt faint for a moment. There, I already feel much better. I'm sorry, dear. I didn't mean to give you a start.
All right, then. Jeffrey, let's get this chest moved over.
On second thought, a cold glass of water would be nice if it isn't too much harm.
Not at all. I'll get it.
And a cold compress would be nice. But oh, with everything you have to do, I hate for you to fuss over me.
Oh, now don't be silly. What kind of director would I be if I didn't take care of my lead actress?
You're too sweet.
Now, you just stay right there.
Oh!
I'll be right back.
Take your time, my dear. I don't want any fuss over me. Oh, Guinevere, if they look inside, it's all over. Should I move you to another location? Keep calm, Dolores Gordon, keep calm. I can't become paranoid. No one is on to me. No one. It's just that every time I think about what Beverly said to me, the more prouder I am of what I did. Would you mind serving as Guinevere's understudy? You're so dependable. Well, I showed you, Guinevere, and I'll show the rest of them. I'll be the star I deserve to be, and they will applaud me and wonder why they never gave me a star role in the first place. I will pose, I will bow, and I'll sign a few autographs. Then, when the lights go out and the theater goes dark, I'll come back for you, Guinevere, and I'll throw you into the bottom of the river just as I planned all along. And no one will stand in the way of that plan. No one. Not Janet, not Beverly, not Alice.
Hello, Dolores.
is the star of our show. Let's hear it for Madame Dubois.
You two are up to no good. I can tell.
Us? Why? We were just talking fishing and hunting. That's all.
If you were only talking fishing and hunting, why were you whispering the way you were?
Come now, Dolores. Do we really look as if we were up to no good? Why? You couldn't find two more boring, ordinary gentlemen if you tried.
It's
Just look at that dress. Before you adorned it, it was merely a dress. Now it's nothing short of a heavenly vision.
I couldn't agree more.
Was there something we could help you with?
Oh yes, have either of you seen Alice Oldacre?
I don't think she's here yet, Mrs. Gordon.
She sure has been, snooping around where she has no business snooping. I haven't had the courage to ask her questions.
Alice Oldacre, a sneak.
Only the worst kind, lurking around in the shadows, listening in on other people's conversations that they have with themselves. Ruthless.
I admit Miss Oldacre's a bit mysterious, but I can't imagine she means any harm.
Well, I don't trust her any more than the both of you, separating yourselves from the others, whispering the way you were.
Perhaps this murder mystery has gotten on your mind a bit.
You just couldn't wait to say that word, now could you?
What word is that?
Murder. You think you're so clever with all your charm and animal magnetism, and to think that I was somewhat smitten with you, Mr. Weaver. And I'm equally ashamed of you, Lloyd. I mean, you're the one who's supposed to be keeping this place together, making sure there's no cracks in the walls. Instead, you're standing around and scheming.
I don't mean any disrespect, Mrs. Gordon, but I can promise you I have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, what's wrong with this set?
Just look around. There's cracks in the walls. Look, there's one right over there.
Over here?
Yes, Howard, show him right there.
Where?
Oh, I don't see a thing.
Why, there's nothing wrong with this wall, Mrs. Gordon. Mrs. Gordon?
Wow, she sure did disappear quick.
At least she's gone. Now listen closely, Lloyd. Are you sure you hid it so that no one will find it?
It's hid nice and safe, all right. I took her out after rehearsal the other night. Took some doing, but I got her out.
And you're sure no one saw you?
Not a soul. I was sly as a fox.
Oh, don't forget, Lloyd. This is our little secret. No one, and I do mean no one, ought to know about this, right?
Nobody will even notice it's missing.
I hope you're right. Oh, and by the way, how much do I owe you?
$75 should cover it.
All right, here. I should check on my props. I'll see you later, Lloyd.
Okay, Mr. Reaver.
There's no way that they know. I've been way too Stop worrying yourself this way, Dolores. They were talking about something completely different. But then again,
Dolores, have you seen Beverly?
I was just rearranging the props on the chest, that's all.
Dolores, are you feeling all right? You're looking a little pale.
What? No, I just haven't gotten much sleep in the last few nights. That's all.
Oh, well, I was looking for... That's strange.
No, not really. I was just making sure they were set for rehearsal.
No, I was referring to the picture. This is not the one I brought in yesterday. I hung the one of the beautiful lady, remember?
No, I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't paying much attention.
And it was the one I brought in from home, too. Why would someone take something that didn't belong to them?
That's what I would like to know.
Beverly?
You're still in there, aren't you, Guinevere? Of course you are. And Dolores, make sure you sit just right. I'll start by turning the air conditioning down. That way you stay better. Everything will be just fine. You're in good hands.
This one right here. It's not the one I brought in yesterday.
Yeah, that is odd. No one asked me about changing it.
I just really hope it isn't lost. I brought that from home.
We'll find it. It's got to be here somewhere. But we'll have to look later. It's time to get rehearsals. Dolores, did you lose something?
I don't think so.
I'm here. I'm here. Is it time yet? Not yet, Alberta. Darn it. We'll ask the cast about the missing picture. Right now, let's round everyone up. You get the men, I'll get the ladies.
There you are, old biddy.
I beg your pardon?
I beg your pardon. You think you're so clever, sneaking around the way you were? All I need to know is how much did you hear?
Here, when?
Alright, that's the little game you want to play? Okay. Name your price you want to keep quiet. Go.
Everyone has been talking about how you've been going off the deep end lately, but I didn't believe them until now.
Oh, they've been saying that now, have they? Well, if your long lost dream is going off the deep end, maybe I am. Maybe I'm just crazy old Dolores who has nothing better to do with her time than knock off old women who don't deserve their time on planet Earth.
I'm sure glad to know you haven't gone crazy.
You will take my hush money and forget this conversation ever happened. Is it a deal?
It's a deal. Whatever you say, I'll be glad to take your money.
That's more like it. If I don't get my time on stage, I don't know what I'll do.
Good heavens, Dolores Gordon. You would think this were Broadway the way you're behaving.
It is Broadway to me, at least the closest I'll ever get.
It's a local, amateur play, and with the exception of myself, it's being performed by common, everyday people from around town. It's really not that big of a deal.
That's what my mommy told me when I won my first spelling bee. That's what my daddy told me when I made the dean's list at college. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. Well, I'll have you know that it is a very big deal. I worked very hard for this role.
Worked hard? You only got the part because Guinevere Black rushed off to Europe at the last minute. You were all they had, Dolores.
I wouldn't upset her if I were you, Georgia, dear.
You're just jealous of me, Georgia Styles. Jealous I'm playing the role of Madame Dubois, and you're not.
Jealous of you? I think it is high time you knew something, Miss Broadway star.
Georgia, no!
I could have played Madame Dubois. Beverly offered me the part after she discovered that Guinevere had rushed off, and I turned her down.
What?
That's right. And after I turned the part down, she offered it to Alice, and then Isabella, and then Olivia, and for some reason or another, they all turned the part down. And that is the only reason why you are playing the lead. You, Dolores Gordon, were the last resort.
I don't believe you.
That's because you live in some fantasy world you've created in your mind.
Alice, is what she's saying true?
You've really done it now, Georgia.
We've all been secretly hoping that Guinevere would surprise us by showing back up to rehearsals, so we could finally take that hideous portrait of you off the wall once and for all.
Well, Georgia, now you're being unnecessarily cruel. Dolores, I think you're doing a splendid job playing Madam. Just splendid. We all do.
I can guarantee you that Guinevere Black will never darken the doors of this theater again.
You don't know that.
Oh, but I do. And do you want to know how I know that? She left on account of you.
Me? Don't be ridiculous.
I asked her to stick it out with the rest of us, but she said that she was tired of your sassy, sarcastic, and arrogant attitude.
You know what I like about doing a nice play like this? It's how we all become like a little family.
Vagabond.
Self-important hag.
We learn to work together.
Commoner.
Aristocrat wannabe.
Respect one another.
May the bird of paradise fly up your nose.
It would much rather fly up yours where there's much more room to lay a nest.
Are you calling my nose big?
No comment, Pinocchio.
Love can build a bridge.
Oh, it's so nice to see my actresses build a strong bond before rehearsal.
I'm sorry, young man, but I just don't think I can agree with you on that point.
Don't you see, Dr. Fairfax? If Madame Dubois were that jealous with the murder, Detective Blake would have been onto her sooner. Don't you think so, Beverly?
Hello, Officer Biddle, Dr. Fairfax. What are you two talking about?
The line in the play where my character asked Mrs. Dubois what she was doing alone in the pantry, and she says, I was fetching some olives for the martinis.
I know the line. What about it?
Mr. Biddle here doesn't believe his character should be so easily fooled.
That's right. He should already know that Miss Dubois was not, in fact, getting olives from the pantry, but committing the murder instead.
I tried explaining to him that if that were the case, the mystery would be solved too soon in the play.
Look, I just think it makes my character look inept, that's all. The fact that I'm a real police officer here in town should matter. If people come and see the play and see me acting like an idiot, they may actually believe I am one.
I'm really a doctor, but that has nothing to do with me playing a butler in the play.
Yeah, Officer Biddle, I don't think our audiences are shallow enough to get the characters in the play confused with the actors playing the part. Besides, which butler did it is a mystery classic that doesn't need to be rewritten.
Okay, look. Miss Gordon, come over here, please. Let me show you what I mean.
Oh, I don't think Dolores is feeling much like acting right now. Do you, dear?
Of course I do, dear. Go ahead, Officer Biddle, with your line.
Where were you at precisely 9:05 this evening when everyone else was in the garden?
Are you supposing me of murder, Mr. Blake?
I'm merely doing my job, madam. Now, if you would answer my question. Did you, Dolores Gordon, sneak into the theater last night and murder Guinevere Blanc?
What did you just say?
I said, where were you at precisely 9:05 this evening when everyone else was in the garden?
That is not what you said.
It isn't?
Is something the matter, Dolores?
Oh, she's just being professional.
That wasn't your line. Why did you change it?
I didn't change the line, Miss Gordon. That's what it's always been in the script.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I just heard you wrong. Let's redo the scene. Go from your line, Officer Biddle.
Where were you at precisely 9:05 this evening when everyone else was in the garden?
I went to the pantry to fetch some olives for the martinis, you fool.
Now, I think this is where Detective Blake should ask. Don't you usually have your servants do such menial tasks for you, such as fetching olives from the pantry?
I don't know. Go back, say it in character so I can see how it sounds.
Say your last line again, please.
I went to the pantry to fetch some olives for the martinis, you fool.
Don't you usually have your servants do such menial tasks for you, such as knocking someone over the head with a candlestick and shoving their body into a large wooden chest? See?
You know, I think that does sound better.
You did it again!
Now that I hear it, I think you're right.
All right, you can keep the additional line.
Great. Thank you, Beverly.
But you said...
You don't think we need to change the line, Dolores?
No, I think changing the line is fine.
Good. All right then. If everyone could take their places, we're going to take it from the top of Act 2.
It's about time that we all got started.
Now, this is the scene where Madame Dubois is admiring her portrait when her head butler enters to let her know her other butler has been murdered. Howard, are you in place? Howard! Now, where did he go?
Calm down, Dolores. It's just that overactive imagination of yours. That's all. Oh, what the heck? No, I can't look. If you're not inside, I can't go on with rehearsal. What am I saying? I can't go on at all. But they know, don't they? Janet, could you come out here, please? Oh! Guinevere!
Howard!
Sorry about that, Miss Gordon. Now, what was it you needed?
Janet, is that you?
I beg your pardon?
Is it a joke, Alice? Janet, did Alice tell you something? You can tell me if she did. It's just you and me here.
Is what a joke, Miss Gordon? Did Alice say something about what?
You wouldn't do something so cruel, no. Not to an old woman like me.
Beverly?
After all, I've known you since you were just a little girl.
Yes, what is it? Oh,
It's Miss Gordon again. She's saying some strange things.
Dolores, is there anything I can get to you before we start rehearsal?
The props were on the floor. That's why I was calling Janet.
Don't worry about it, Miss Gordon. I'll get it.
Is there anything else I can do?
Nope. I'm ready to start. I'm a professional, you see.
There, everything is back in order. Here's the glass you'll need for the scene.
Try to relax, Dolores. Everything will run as smooth as silk. I promise. All right? Places, everyone!
I'm professional. Professional?
Curtain!
Beverly! Beverly! Is it time yet?
Not yet, Alberta.
Darn it!
Curtain!
Oh, madam, I do believe you get more and more beautiful every day. Throwing the servants a dinner party was a splendid idea. They'll be loyal to me for the rest of their dreary lives.
Madame Dubois,
Oh, Rogers, come in, come in. Rogers, what are you doing with that tray? The party is for you and the rest of the servants.
Sorry, madam. Some habits are hard to break.
Don't you think it was a splendid idea throwing the dinner party for the servants? Is everyone having a good time?
Well, they were, madam, until something tragic happened.
Tragic? Did we run out of shrimp?
No, madam. One of your butlers has been murdered.
Murdered? How dreadful! Which butler was it? Was it Rogers?
No, madam. I'm Rogers. It was Wallace.
Wallace? But he was my favourite one.
But I was your favourite.
Don't make me laugh.
Everyone is quite upset, madam. What should we do?
I'll call the employment agency first thing tomorrow morning. Have them send over a few applicants for me to interview.
But shouldn't the police be called?
The police at one of my dinner parties? Don't be ridiculous.
But madam, someone's been murdered.
Very well. The phone is right over there. You would think someone would have the decency to wait until after one of my dinner parties to be murdered. What is the world coming to?
Hello, police. I'd like to report a murder. The Dubois estate. Thank you.
Madame Dubois, it's just awful! Blood everywhere!
It's okay, Maria. You won't have to clean up until the police are finished their investigation.
But he was such a fine man! Why would someone do it? Why? Why?
Calm down, Maria. Remember yourself. What? Rogers, how was Wallace murdered?
He was stuffed in the chest.
What did you say?
I said he was stabbed in the chest.
It's your line, Dolores.
I mean to get to the bottom of this party crashing escapade. Get everyone in here at once.
I'll get them.
Is there anything I can do, madam?
In the midst of this horrific news, you can fix me another martini.
Yes, madam.
Here's everyone, Madame Dubois. I've called them in from the garden just as you asked.
Everyone fall in line. I'm sure you are all aware of the horrific tragedy that's taken place outside in my garden.
It's awful, madam, just awful. He was like a brother to me.
He was like a father to me.
And he was like a servant to me. Now, one of your own has been brutally murdered. The question is, which butler did it?
One of us, but Madame Dubois, you can't be suggesting we would murder Wallace. He was like family.
Thank you, Rogers. Fall in line.
But, Madame Dubois, how do we know enough the maids didn't do it?
Just look at them. They couldn't stab a wet noodle with a fork. How would you expect one of them to stab a strong, tall man like Wallace in the chest at 360 degrees? No, I'm afraid this murder was committed by a man.
I saw him arguing with Wallace only minutes before the murder.
I heard him tell Wallace that he wished he were dead.
But I heard her saying she would get even with him.
Rogers did it. He has the murder weapon hidden in his coat. I saw it.
That's absurd. I was simply gonna chop some cucumbers for the shrimp salad.
Everyone calm yourselves. You're becoming hysterical.
That is excellent advice, Miss Dubois. Advice I think you should follow yourself.
Excuse me, sir, but you're trespassing on private property.
Lieutenant Biddle, private investigator.
Lieutenant, it appears someone has been murdered outside on my patio.
A murder, huh? So that's whose dead body I stepped over back there on the patio. I hate that line, Beverly. It makes me sound so stupid.
Shh. Keep going.
Were these people present at the time of the murder?
Yes, Lieutenant. I was throwing a little dinner appreciation party for my staff. You see, I believe the murder was committed by one of my butlers, since the knife had to go through one of his chest, through the rib. What I meant was, I believe the murder was committed by one of my butlers, since the candlestick, knife had to go through the chest, through the rib. A female couldn't pull that off.
Oh, so you've seen the murdered victim's body then?
No.
Then how did you know where he was stabbed?
Are you questioning me, Lieutenant? Madame Dubois?
I'm merely doing my job, madam. Everyone here is guilty until proven innocent. Now, until I get to the bottom of this and finish my investigation, I don't want to hear a peep out of anybody. Now be quiet! Oh!
What was that? Janet, are you okay?
I'm right here. Oh, I came from that way.
Alberta!
Is it time yet?
No, Alberta, did you just yell backstage?
It wasn't me.
I'll check it out. Officer Biddle, come with me.
Let me go. I was born for adventure.
Come on, Howard, you and I will take care of this.
I wonder who it could be since everybody's on stage.
Oh, Lloyd, you scared us to death. I thought you had left.
Well, I did. Then I began to wonder if I'd hidden the,
Oh, was wondering if you had hidden what, Lloyd?
Don't you mean you came to get your toolbox you forgot earlier, Lloyd?
Yes, I forgot my toolbox.
What was the noise we heard?
Well, I was reaching for my toolbox and off the top shelf, and it slipped and fell on my foot. That's when I screamed.
Oh, you poor thing. Are you all right?
Yes, I meant to slip in and out, unnoticed. I apologize.
We're just glad you're okay, Lloyd. If something happened to you, we'd all be in a fix.
Now, if you're all right, then we really need to get back to our rehearsal.
Can you stand, Lloyd?
I believe so. Don't mind me.
We'll take it back a few pages. Dolores, if you would. Now, where did Dolores go?
I'm right here.
Oh, Dolores, you look as though you've seen a ghost.
Do I? Do you believe in them?
Do I believe in what?
Ghosts, specters, spirits that return from the chest, grave.
Really, Beverly, I don't see how we can get any quality work done with all of these distractions.
I think everyone needs to simply...
Officer Bill, are you all right?
Lloyd, you really need to watch where you put your toolbox.
Sorry about that, Officer Biddle.
Lloyd, I thought you said you dropped your toolbox backstage.
Well, that was his other toolbox. Right, Lloyd?
Yes, that was my other toolbox.
Something strange is going on here.
Good heavens. There he goes with that detective look in his eyes. Really, there's nothing strange going on here that you should concern yourself over.
I never believed in ghosts, never!
Okay, I think this murder mystery is getting to everyone. Perhaps next time we should put on a romantic comedy.
That's an excellent idea, Beverly. We could even write our own. One about a man who has a fling with every single woman in town, and his poor naive wife has no idea what's going on.
Miss Stiles, you've gone too far.
No, she's right, Olivia. I was a fool. Everyone behind knew what he was doing behind my back.
Mrs. Stiles, now look what you've done. Well, it's not my fault that she can't handle the truth. Oh, speaking of the truth,
everyone knows about you and Officer Biddle going out on your secret dates.
Well, I never.
Well, I never too. The rumor about Mrs. Stiles liking younger men and asking me out after her husband died, not true.
Oh, would everyone please just calm down.
Do sit down, Mr. Biddle. I don't remember anyone speaking to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Come on, Lloyd, I'll help you get your tools to your car.
No, wait, no. No, but we need to rehearse.
I'm sorry, Beverly.
No.
I believe I'm now too distraught to rehearse.
Wait, Georgia! No. Mrs. Stiles!
Would everyone help me get my cast back on stage so we can finish and go home? Please? Everyone!
But I felt your pulse, and there wasn't any. I checked your breathing, and you were dead! This is all a game to them. They're trying to break me. Which one of you took her? Which one of you dirty thieves took my Guinevere?
Why did you do it? Out of all the people in the world, you were the last I expected to pull off something so criminal.
I know it doesn't make sense, but usually it is the people we least expect who end up doing the worst things.
Just look at her. Is she even conscious?
She's in shock, more than likely. She wasn't expecting us to find her out. In her mind, she was much too clever for us.
But how could we not find her out when the body was right under our noses and the murder weapon carelessly lying about that way?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello?
That's the first word she has spoken in hours. Do you know who I am?
Mother? Is that you? Please, Mother, don't lock me in the cellar again, please.
She's becoming more unhinged mentally.
I think she might simply be putting us on. She thinks if she acts insane enough, she won't have to go to prison.
Perhaps, perhaps not. Sometimes murdering someone you know so well sends a person over the edge, and the murderer checks up from reality. It'll be hard to tell without a professional prognosis.
Mother, is that you? Father, have you seen Mother?
It's okay. You're with friends. We want to help you, if you will only let us.
But how could you possibly want to help me after what I've done? After committing something so unforgivable?
Then help us understand why you did it.
You couldn't possibly understand. But when I had that candlestick in my hand, for the first time in my life, I felt true power. Power over another, whether another lived or died. What did I say?
You keep saying candlestick instead of knife. What if you slipped that way on the night of the performance?
Oh dear, did I? I didn't even notice.
That's all right, Dolores. You'll get it right.
I don't know, Beverly. I've said candlestick for the last 2 nights in a row. And with opening night coming so soon, I don't think I can do this.
Could you excuse us for a moment?
Not to worry, Dolores. We all know you'll do just fine.
I'm so sorry, Beverly. I seem to be letting everyone down.
You can't let your nerves get the best out of you this way. Just keep thinking positive thoughts. And Dolores, I didn't want to mention anything in front of others, but it's about your appearance.
What? Oh, I guess I haven't gotten much sleep in the last couple of nights. I keep having this same dream over and over again.
Well, you've got so many people counting on you for this show. We've already sold out every performance. You must be able to think clearly.
Why should I? Beverly, I know you didn't want me playing the role as Madam.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, Dolores.
The ironic thing is, I think you're right. I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can handle the pressure.
But the fact is that you got the part, and unlike Guinevere, you don't have an understudy. So don't you see that whatever the cost, you must pull yourself together and think,
I can't!
Or else you'll never be the star you deserve to be.
Star? You're right, Beverly. I'll try. I really will.
Good. Now, I'll go in the back, help Janet, and see if we're ready to move on to the final scene of the play. Are you sure you're all right? I just hope you feel better than you look. I'm sorry about that, Dolores.
Go down here. Go. Guinevere, are you in there? She isn't in there. It isn't what it appears. I want for whoever is responsible for taking Guinevere out of that chest to be man or woman enough and come clean with their joke. I am not kidding you. You have until the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. At least I won't have to look at you for the rest of the night.
Dolores, what are you doing? Why are you hanging Guinevere's portrait?
I took Guinevere's portrait down. That was all very funny of you, by the way, but instead of making a federal case of it, I'm simply returning my photo to where it belongs. That's impossible. I just swapped.
Dolores. Dolores. Dolores! This is a picture of you. You! And this is a picture of Guinevere that we're not using because Guinevere is not in the play.
That's because she's dead.
Fine. Believe what you want to believe. It's clear you're not going to listen to any of the rest of us. But all I ask of you is please leave the props and set pieces where they are.
All right, I'll play along. I'll join the little charade. Yes, Guinevere arrived safely in Europe.
What in the world? My picture is back? But who? Why? Beverly!
No, I promise, I haven't told anyone. I admit I've almost let it slip a few times, but I always caught myself. I know we can't let it get out. I know, especially to Dolores. But I promise you, Dolores Gordon is the least of our worries right now. Bye!
I said I was sorry, Georgia.
I can't believe that you blurted that out to the entire cast. I've never been more humiliated in my entire life.
When are you going to stop being ashamed of our love?
When you start doing as you are told. And what I told you was not to say anything to anyone until I was ready to declare our love. Luckily for me, I don't think anyone's given it much thought, what with all this Dolores Gordon going crazy situation. Look at me, world. I am the great Madame Dubois. No, wait. That's the person I'm playing on stage. I am the great Dolores Gordon. Does anyone want my autograph?
Oh, I do, miss. I absolutely adored you in the last play you were in. You were my hero.
What was that play again? I simply can't seem to remember anything from one day to the next.
I am pleased to announce the winner of this year's Candlestick Award for her role as Mrs. Dubois, Dolores Gordon.
I'd like to thank my mama and my daddy and all my many friends, both of them, and all of my adoring fans. I would thank my husband, if I had one, but it seems nobody wants to marry a loony bird like me, a loony bird who hallucinates her own life to escape the harsh realities of the real world. But who cares? Because I'm a star.
If you'll excuse me, I'll go check on my props backstage.
Why didn't you tell me she was there?
You didn't see her either.
We've done it now. She's sure to go over the edge. And once Beverly finds out, we'll never hear the end of it.
It'll be okay, sweetheart.
Don't call me sweetheart. I just wish this whole play thing were over and done with. I'm not having fun in the least.
Here you are, Mrs. Stiles. Have you seen Dolores?
She just went through the French door as Dr. Fairfax. Why do you ask?
I wanted to give her a sedative to calm her nerves. I don't see how we will ever get any quality rehearsing done tonight with her in the condition that she's in.
That's an excellent idea. These are pretty strong. Are you sure they're safe?
The safest. I give them to my patients all the time. They simply help a person relax.
Let me see those.
Good heavens, Mr. Biddle. You've spilled them all over creation. Can't you do anything right? No, we can't put them back in the container. They're contaminated.
I guess you're right. They dissolve quickly in water.
Wait! You just put that in the water we're using for the next scene.
I'll make sure to switch it out before we start the rehearsal. Now we must figure out a way to get Dolores to take these sedatives.
Mr. Biddle and I will go backstage and try out this way. Come, Mr. Biddle.
Evan. Call me Evan.
Dolores, old girl, I hope you'll forgive me for what I'm about to do, but it's for your own good.
No!
Oh, Dolores, there you are. Come in. I'm not going to bite.
I wouldn't be too sure about that.
I wanted to propose a toast. I know you've been on edge these last few days, so I wanted to make you, feel better. I know it's just water, but it's the best that'll do since champagne isn't available.
That's all right. I have my own glass of water.
So you do. Well, here, this water's much fresher.
I just poured this one backstage.
Oh.
To a great rehearsal.
Wait! Don't you know that theater superstition? You'd never make a toast in a theater without first, walking around the set one time each.
I've never heard of that superstition.
Oh, yes. It brings the show good luck, don't you see? So we'll just set these down here. Now, you go first.
Me first? All right. Here I go. Walking around stage. There. You happy now?
Yes. Thank you. To a great rehearsal.
Wait. Aren't you forgetting something?
I beg your pardon?
You did say in the superstition that each member had to walk around at least once.
Yes, so I did. This play is sure to be a success with all this walking we are doing, so don't you see, Dolores, you have nothing to be nervous about. Oh yes, can I help you? Oh, silly me, I could have sworn I saw someone come in. To a great rehearsal.
And an even better performance. Good glass of water. And to a good new year.
Yes, most refreshing. So, how do you feel?
Alive, Dr. Fairfax. Very much alive.
Well, that's good. To feel alive, I mean. Well, we're about to start the last scene, so I guess I'll see you out there.
Now they want to see me dead by poison. Taking the law into their own hands, I see. I bet when I'm dead, they'll pick up my body, put me into the chest, just for the fun of it while they rehearse their little murder mystery. I wonder who will play Madam. Perhaps Isabella? Georgia Styles? And with Officer Biddle in on everything, the police will never be informed of their little scheme. But what they don't know is their little poisoning plan has backfired on them. Who's the clever one now?
There you are. Are you feeling any better?
I was just reading this letter again.
Perhaps you should stop reading it, Isabella. It only makes you upset.
Olivia, allow for me to read the last part of this letter to you. I need for you to tell me if it sounds as though he really likes this other woman, or if I'm simply letting my imagination go wild.
Well, okay, but then I really want you to put the letter away.
So now I must finish my letter to you, RG. I count the hours and minutes until we see each other again. As soon as I can get out from under this snooping wife of mine, I will sneak out and meet you at the park. We can talk and take another nice stroll and stop for ice cream. Then I shall return to my nagging wife and be miserable until I see you again. Until then, good night, my sweetest RG. Yours always, Claude. So, what do you think, Olivia? Maybe it's just a letter to a buddy, or an aunt, or even a sister.
Yes, you know, now that I hear it, I think it might just be a friendly letter. See, now you can forget about this silly note and focus on the play. Have a glass of water. It'll make you feel better.
Thank you, Olivia. I don't know what I would do without you. If only I knew who this RG was. This tastes a little salty.
All right, pledges, everyone.
That's our cue. We better get backstage.
There. How does everything look out here?
Everything seems to be in place. Even my picture that disappeared earlier. I still say that was awfully odd.
At least it's back. Now, make sure all the sound effects are queued up. Right? Didn't they hear me? Places, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, Beverly, dear. I believe that was my fault. I was handing out these charms to the cast backstage.
Charms?
Yes, if you would hide this on your person. That way, Dolores can't harm you with those voodoo hexes of hers. That woman is as crazy as a loon.
Mrs. Stiles, I really don't think...
Beverly, I'm not superstitious or anything, but what could it hurt?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Now, don't let her know that you have it, or it won't work.
Beverly! Beverly! Is it time yet?
Yes, Alberta, this is your scene.
Yes!
Check. Okay. Beverly, I'll be backstage if you need me.
There. Everyone, I really appreciate your patience with Dolores. Hopefully, once the play opens, her nerves will calm a little.
I think her nerves will calm before then.
Now, let's see. Alice, I believe you're supposed to be on the other end of the sofa. Alice!
Alice, your hearing aid.
What?
Turn on your hearing aid. Oh. Beverly was speaking to you.
I'm sorry, Beverly.
She needs you to stand over there.
There. Good. All right. Now, this is the final scene of the play where Madame Dubois is discovered to be the murderer.
Is it me or is it getting hot in here?
Please, Isabella, the director is speaking.
Sorry, Beverly, but it still is warm in here.
As I was saying, Madame Dubois is discovered to have murdered Wallace.
Hey, this is my scene. Do lie down, Miss Fisk. This isn't kindergarten.
Okay.
Let's make this rehearsal count. We're running out of precious time. Are Dolores and Evan in place, Janet?
They're in place.
It sure is getting awfully hot in here.
Take it from Olivia's line, which cues Dolores and Evan. Curtain!
If all of us are innocent in this horrible crime, then who did murder poor Wallace?
You can stop your wondering. I will tell you exactly who murdered your friend and co-worker. The murderer may enter now.
Stop, Dolores. What is with the boa? Madame Dubois doesn't wear one of those.
But it's such a beautiful boa.
I'm sorry, Beverly. She got into the costume room somehow. Dolores, you are such a joker. Now give Janet the boa.
No, you may not have the boa.
For heaven's sake, just let her keep the boa.
Fine with me.
Don't smoke my cigar backstage. Is it just me or is it hot in here?
I'm melting like ice cubes in hell.
I'll see what I can do to turn up the air. Dolores, take it from your line after you enter. Dolores!
Yes?
Take it from your line.
Oh, I can't seem to remember what it is.
You called, Lieutenant?
Who said that?
Janet!
Yes?
There she is!
Yes, I know.
How did you do that?
Never mind. Dolores, exit, please. Evan, cue Dolores with your line.
I will tell you exactly who murdered your friend and co-worker. The murderer may enter now. The murderer may enter now.
Dolores!
I'm right here.
What are you doing right there? Your entrance is through the French doors.
The French doors?
Yes, the French doors, just as always.
The French doors? Oui, s'il vous plaît.
That was a good one, Dolores.
Beverly, don't forget.
Mrs. Stiles, put that away. Remember what we all agreed?
You know what? You sure are pretty, Officer Fiddle.
I think he's pretty too. And you, and you, and you.
Hey, what about me? Am I pretty?
Alberta, lie down. No one's pretty. Dolores, take it from your line. You called, Lieutenant. You called. Wait until I call Curtain. Curtain!
Curtain! You called, Lieutenant?
Wait a minute. Are you proposing that Madame Dubois murdered poor Wallace here?
That's right, Rogers. She just confessed to the whole thing.
Dolores, follow Evan.
You see, Miss Dubois planned it all. When she went into the kitchen to get olives for her martini, she was actually getting a butcher knife! From there, she went and hid behind a closed door. And when Paul Wallace here opened the door, BAM! She let him have it with the knife. From there, she went and dragged the body away to the patio and quickly cleaned up the mess.
Is it true, Madame Dubois? Are you truly responsible for Wallace's murder?
Why did you do it? He was one of your best butlers.
Because, you old buzzard, I loved him.
What do you mean you loved him?
I didn't love him. I loved him. But he didn't love me. No. He loved her.
Me?
Don't act so surprised. You took him right out from under me. Well, I took care of that, didn't I? Mr. Weaver will never love you.
Dolores, I must insist that you stick to your script.
Oh, do you insist, little Miss Director? Well, you insist all you want. Why should I listen to you, anyways?
Yeah, why should she listen to you?
After all, you never wanted me playing the role of Madam after all.
Dr. Fairfax, what was in that medicine?
I want everyone to listen to me and to listen to me good. If this were any kind of play at all, Madam would not have stabbed her victim. She would have come up from behind with some heavy object and clubbed her in the back of the head. That's how you murder one's body.
Dolores.
Wait a minute, Beverly. Maybe we just need to hear her out.
Such as, oh yes, this candlestick right here. This would do just well. Person you would hit would be dead before they even hit the floor.
Beverly, why have we stopped?
Shh! Go ahead, Miss Dubois.
You can all stop the act now. I'm on to you.
You are?
What I can't seem to figure out is which one of you took her from me. Which one of you took her right out from under my nose? Perhaps it was you?
Me? How'd you know? You said no one will know.
Jeffrey, be quiet.
No, Mr. Weaver, I will not take on the heat for this. Yes, Mrs. Gordon, I took him, but he told me to.
Mr. Chance, I'm warning you.
I snuck it out the other night after rehearsal. He told me no one will find out.
I knew Mr. Weaver was behind this. Where did you hide her?
I hid her in Mr. Weaver's trunk. He promised me some brand new wheels for my sports car.
That boy has clearly gone mad.
I love adventure as much as the next guy, but I won't go to jail for anybody.
Would anyone tell me what you all are talking about? Jeffrey, you hid what in Mr. Weaver's trunk?
Guinevere Black's dead body. That's what.
Guinevere's dead? Bless her heart. I didn't even know she was sick.
I'm sorry, Dolores. I didn't realize that medicine was so strong. It seems to be making your condition worse.
Look! There she is! Right there!
There who is, Dolores? There's no one here.
Why, I see her, Dolores. It's Betsy Ross. Hello, Betsy. You did such a wonderful job on that play.
Isabella? Is it Betsy Ross? It's Guinevere's ghost coming back from the grave to haunt me.
Dolores, you aren't making any sense.
What did you do with her after Jeffrey put her in your trunk?
Oh, all right. I confess. Yes, Jeffrey did take her, but only because I asked him to. After he hid her in the trunk of my car, I drove her home and hung her in my broom closet.
You did what?
I thought I would let her hang there for a few weeks, just until the heat wore off, and then I would bring her to my antique shop and string her up in my front window.
Mr. Weaver, you are a sick, sick man.
Are you telling me, Mr. Weaver, that you're confessing that you put Jeffrey up to carrying Guinevere Black's dead body to the trunk of your car?
Dead body? No, the picture.
picture?
Yes, the picture of the beautiful Lady Janet brought in the other day. Turns out it's an original Norman Inkwell and worth quite a bit of money.
My beautiful lady is worth money?
Oh, yes. So I had Jeffrey sneak her to my car one night after you had all left the rehearsal. Before I brought her home, I brought her to my friend's photography shop and had a copy made. I then brought the copy back here so that none of you would notice the original was missing.
You should be ashamed of yourself, Mr. Weaver.
Shame, shame, shame. Boy, I am hot.
That was pretty rotten, Mr. Weaver.
No, no, no! You took her out of the chest because you knew I was in love with you. That was your way of getting me out of your hair.
Sorry, Dolores, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
Then it was Alice! Alice did it!
I did what?
That's right. You heard me talking to myself about what I had done.
You mean when I walked through the French doors and you looked at me, Bunny?
Exactly. Admit it. You heard everything.
Dolores, I didn't hear a thing. I had not turned my hearing on yet. I usually forget to switch it on until someone reminds me to. I didn't hear a word you said that night.
Then, if it wasn't Jeffrey, Howard, or Alice, it was you, Isabella.
Yeah, you guessed it. It was me.
I knew it. You did it to get back at me for having an affair with your husband.
Dolores, you didn't.
Oh, hush up, cradle robber.
So you're the one that Mr. Watts wrote the love letter to.
But your initials are not R.G.
My first name is Ramona. Ramona Gordon, R.G.
Well, honey, you can have him. As I've always said, good riddance to bad rubbish.
So, Isabella, are you saying that you saw Dolores commit a murder and so took the body away?
Whose body?
Guinevere's!
Guinevere's dead? Bless her heart. I didn't even know she was sick.
Then it was Georgia Stiles. She's always been jealous of me. Or perhaps it was Olivia. That's the little secret she's been keeping. Or Beverly. You all wanted to see me go crazy so I would quit your precious little play. You were there, Guinevere. Tell me, which one of these no accounts did it?
All right, everyone. Nice and easy. Just move away. Move away slowly.
And now, Dolores is going to tell us everything. Isn't she, Dolores?
I asked Guinevere to meet me early before rehearsal the next day. So, I left one of the windows open in the dressing room so I could arrive early and have a conversation with her. So, I snuck in before you all arrived, saw Guinevere stroll into the theater, and I came from behind and knocked her in the head. I knew that was the last time she took a role that should have been mine. After, I picked up her dead body and put her into the chest. You know, since we are rehearsing a murder mystery, I thought it would be fun.
But Dolores, if you put the body inside of the chest, shouldn't it still be there?
That's what I've been telling you all. One of you took her out. Someone spirited her body out of the chest, knowing I would have to give myself away. All right, I'm giving myself away. Which one of you took my Guinevere?
Dolores, that's enough. No one took Guinevere because Guinevere was never murdered and placed inside the chest. She took a one-way flight to Europe. I have the letter she left behind. Right here.
Let me see that.
That letter was a cover-up.
Well, I have the letter that Dolores wrote to Isabella's husband. Perhaps we can compare the handwriting?
She's right. The handwriting in this letter is the exact same as the one addressed to Mr. Watts.
Wait, Dolores wrote that letter to my husband? I'll kill her!
Wait. So this means Guinevere didn't take a one-way flight to Europe with a man she met at the grocery store?
This is all just so crazy. If Dolores murdered Guinevere and put her in the trunk, then wouldn't she still be in the trunk?
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Maybe Guinevere's body is still in the trunk.
But the trunk is right here and it's empty.
No. This isn't the trunk you think it is. Dolores, when did you say you hid Guinevere's body?
Let me think. Last Tuesday night, I believe?
Why, Mr. Weaver? What does that have to do with anything?
Lloyd, could I have you in here for a second? You see, this isn't Mrs. Styles' antique trunk.
Of course it is. I would recognize my chest anywhere.
No, it only looks like your trunk. You see, I had asked Mrs. Styles to sell me her trunk once the play was over, but she refused. I knew she would never know the difference between the original and a look-alike because she kept the trunk in her attic underneath a stack of quilts. So I hired Lloyd to build an exact replica. We switched the trunks Tuesday night.
Are you telling me, Mr. Weaver, that you stole my antique trunk and replaced it with an imitation?
That's right. Just as I stole Janet's original painting. You see, business at my antique shop's been a little slow, and I've been desperate to find some quality merchandise.
So what you're saying is that you stole the original trunk with Guinevere's dead body inside it and replaced it with this replica?
That's right.
Did you want me, Mr. Weaver?
Lloyd, where did you put the trunks we switched the other night?
Trunk? What trunk?
It's all right, Lloyd. They know. Where is it?
Okay, well, I took it backstage and covered it with some lumber. Then I topped it off with some canvas tarpaulins and shoved it underneath the stairs.
Wait a minute. Mr. Weaver, are you telling me Guinevere's body could actually be in the trunk backstage?
Oh, Guinevere!
The question is, who wants to go look and see?
Let me go.
Well, Mr. Biddle?
All right, I'll come with you.
Wait! Be careful out there.
I'd better go too. That thing falls on your foot. It hurts like the dickens.
So that's what fell on his foot the other night. La 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 la.
Ah! Oh, sweet Lord.
Oh my goodness!
What's wrong? What did you
Everything
say?
the Lord said, it's all true. Oh,
Guinevere Black's dead body! It's in the trunk, deader than a doornail.
Wait, let me get this all straight. You're telling me that Dolores Gordon over here, not only did she have an affair with my husband, she murdered poor, sweet Guinevere? There's only one thing left to do.
Well, I guess this is where I take over. You have the right to remain silent.
This is all too much to even think about.
Well, I guess you better take me in too, Officer Biddle.
Wait! I won't press charges for the picture if you promise to bring it back to me, Mr. Weaver. After all, a murdered human being makes a stolen picture seem so insignificant.
Mrs. Styles?
Well, all right. If you want it that badly, I'll sell it to you. But you will pay handsomely for what you tried to pull.
I'll make it up to both of you, I promise.
It's just my cell phone. Hello? Okay, I'll tell them. Well, everyone, it's finally time for me to reveal my big secret.
Oh, does it have anything to do with the murder?
No. My boyfriend owns an ice cream parlor on the outskirts of town.
The Scooper Duper?
Yup, that's the one. Well, he wasn't sure if he'd be able to pull it off, but now it's a sure thing. He's providing free banana splits to the entire cast and crew after opening night. I wanted to keep it a secret, especially from Dolores, since it's so hard for her to keep her mouth shut.
I'm sorry. That's your secret?
Well, I know it's not as exciting as murder.
We're sorry, Olivia. We appreciate the gesture, but it doesn't look as if there will be a show after all.
Ah, there's the cavalry. I called them when I was backstage. They're gonna want to question everyone, so make your way outside.
Evan, I just love when you take charge like that.
Evan, call me Evan.
And it was awfully brave of you going backstage that way.
it was?
Maybe you can take me driving in your convertible tonight.
Just wait till you see me behind the wheel. I'm actually not scared of anything.
Hey, what about Dolores?
Oh, Isabella will watch her.
She's out too.
I'll be back for them in a few minutes.
I don't think you'll have to worry about Dolores picking up anytime soon.
happened?
I'm not sure. Ah, my head.
Oh, that's right. They found Guinevere's body backstage.
That was a terrible thing you did.
Which? Murdering Guinevere or going behind your back with your husband?
Now that you mention it, both. You're an evil woman, Dolores Gordon.
One was just as easy to do as the other, although the murder was much more fun. Your husband is quite the bore, Isabella.
You're telling me.
Isn't it ironic?
Isn't what ironic?
I murdered Guinevere for nothing. I'll never get to be the star I deserve to be. Nothing ever does really work out for me, though. Anyways, nothing but days of quiet in prison. This is all so sad.